Good morning, students. I'm going to show you how to program your simulator. I don't have an earthquake simulator. I just have a ClawBot, but you get the idea. It's going to be pretty simple, just showing you how to kind of like program it so the motors move forward and back. Of course, as I like pick up my robot, it falls apart. Anyway, leave that for now. So getting started, I've shared my desktop with you. You're going to open up the firmware update program. It's called VexOS Utility. So you'll double click that and it's going to start looking for updates. However, it needs to be able to find your robot. So your robot has to have a battery installed, and I've charged a bunch behind the board. You just come grab one. And then you get a micro USB cable. Some of them are, again, like in the cabinet here behind the board, and some of them are at the back. You select your USB cable, you plug it into your robot on the download port, and then connect it to the computer. And then you need to actually turn the robot on, and I'll show you what happens. So once I turn it on, so hold on the check mark, and then the VexOS utility is going to be able to recognize that there's a robot attached. So it's going to tell me that there is a brain, which yes, and then it has 4 motors and a push button. And mine has 1, 2, 3, 4 motors and a push button. So I'm going to say it's going to let me know which components need updates. So like it shows me that the motors are okay, the push button's okay, that the Vex brain needs an update. So go install. And this is always the first step that you're going to do. 100% of the time, you're going to connect your robot, like before you program or anything, every time, connect your robot to the computer and run the VexOS utility. Because first of all, it tells you if your robot's even connecting to the computer, so you'll know if you can download software or not, or programs that you write. And second, like at any time of the day, they can push updates to like motors or your brain or whatever, or like let's say you overheat a motor or something, like it might need to be reset. So always when you connect your robot to computer, open the VexOS utility, make sure everything's up to date and connected. And what do we got here? It says press OK to power on the robot. And my robot is powered on. Connect to PC for program update. We are connected to PC. Off, power on. Let's see what it says. Press check to power on. Okay, so I'm going to restart the software. So VexOS utility, checking for software, connect a robot. It's telling me the robot brain needs another update, so I'm going to install. Again, this robot hasn't been plugged in like a year, so it might take a bit to, I might need to go through like a few iterations. The robot brain right now is saying installing VexOS. I can show you. It's saying installing VexOS. Oh, haha, done. So now it's all updated. It's showing me that we're completely updated. All connected Vex products are up to date. Awesome. Now we can write a program. So getting started with that, you're going to open up not Vex Coding Studio, but you're going to open up Robot C, this one. Graphical Robot C Vex Robotics. That's what you're going to open. So we'll open that up and we're going to get started with a new file, or wait for it to load, I guess. New file. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do motor and sensor setup, because like I have the standard ClawBot set up. However, you have made a custom robot. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the motors port. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to tell the computer like which ports are connected to what. So here, let's see. So motors, how many motors do you have? Do you have 1 or 2? I have 4 motors, and my motors are connected on the brain. My motors are connected on the brain. You can see here, I'm connected to port 1. I'm connected to port 6. I'm connected to port 7, and I'm connected to ports 10 and 11. So that's where like the cable is plugged in. So what you need to do is you need to tell the computer programming software like what port you're connected to. So you're going to go here. Here, this already has it defaulted to what I need, 1, 6, 10, and 11. And it's like labeled them as left motor, right motor, arm motor, claw motor. You can label, so like maybe you just have 2 motors. So maybe it'll be left motor, right motor. But you're going to tell the computer which port And then you're going to say what's connected. Is it a VexIQ motor or is there no motor? So all the ports that have no motor. And then the other thing is we've got here that motor 1 is in the left side. And then because these motors on my robot, they're installed in reverse, so like mirrored. So one is this way and one is like opposite. If we were to just run them both in the forward direction, the robot would drive in circles. So what needs to happen, or what they're suggesting here, is that you run one in reverse so that when you're programming and you select forward, your robot actually drives forward and doesn't just drive in circles. I'm gonna stop picking it up. I keep breaking it. So mine's all set up, and then devices. At this point, like I don't actually have it. I have nothing. I don't have any sensors. So I'm just gonna like put no sensor, because otherwise it's gonna keep looking for sensors. So no sensor, no sensors, but I've got a motor here, a motor here, a motor here, a motor here, and then apply, okay? And then at this point, you're gonna wanna save this. So file, save as. I strongly recommend that you save things to your OneDrive. That way you can access them anywhere. So I'm gonna go OneDrive. For me, I've got Fraser Heights courses. This is what, pre-engineering. And then earthquake, well, not Q, earthquake demo. Right, so I've got my program set up here. You may want to call it something different. Like you may want to call your program like, I don't know, intense earthquake or low magnitude earthquake or whatever. So to get started, you at this point can just set the behavior that you want to happen. Like, do you want it to go forward? And then how much do you want it to go forward? So we're going to go forward 1 rotation. Maybe we'll go like forward 1 second at, this is power 50. And then maybe we'll go backward for 1 second at 50% power. And then we'll just try going forward and back. So I got my robot here, and I'm going to try to compile program. Looks like it compiled. Download to robot. Failed to verify the serial link is connected to a robot controller. Oh, we don't have a controller. So let's go robot, compiler target, physical robot, VexIQ, we're in autonomous, no controller required. So firmware download. Okay. And then compile program, and then download to robot. Okay, so I should be able to run it now. So what you can do is you can go through your robot brain and you can run it, or you can run it from the program. So I should be able to hit start. And my robot went forward and back. So I'm going to show you here on the video so you can see. Go here, back. So go to autonomous programs, earthquake demo. So it's actually coming up with something called earthquake demo. And then I'm going to click check, and then you can see what the robot does. Drives forward and it drives back. And then you'll see that this motor actually also is driving forward and back, but the axle's pulled out of it. So that's why it's sort of like driving in a circle right now. Again, it's because I keep picking up and putting down the robot and it keeps falling apart. But I'll show you one more time. So I'll exit out of it, go back, auto programs, earthquake demo, check, drives forward, drives back. I do not recommend testing your robot on the table in case you drive forward too much and it drives like right off the table. So maybe actually pick up your robot, put it on the floor, and test it that way. So then what you would do is, if you're happy with this program, or maybe you want to like add other commands, and maybe you want it to like repeat or something. So you could look at like different commands. You could have it repeat, you could have it repeat forever, repeat until, or repeat like 10 times or whatever. So you can set how many times you want it to go forward and back. And you're going to be making 2 programs. So maybe this is considered your low intensity earthquake. So if you wanted like a high intensity or high magnitude earthquake, instead of going at 50% power, you could go at 100% power, and you could like slow down the speed. Maybe it goes forward for half a second or something. I'm going to let you kind of play with that. But the gist of this is, like, to kind of recap, you connect your robot to the computer, you open the Vex OS utility, you update the robot, you open Robot C Graphical, you click new file, you set up your motor and sensors, and then you make sure that your compiler target is the physical robot, and you make sure that you're in VexIQ autonomous mode, not teleop, because then you're programming through a controller. We're not using a controller. So we want autonomous mode, and then you select somewhere to save it. And that's like pretty much it. That's the basics of programming. So if you have any questions specifically about which blocks to use, or if you have something specific you want to do, or you want to make like a loop or something, I can show you how to do that. But like, you're probably just going to need like the forward and back repeat or forward and back loop command. Let me know if you have any questions.